home for Christmas. Don't misgender me. Say my name, use my pronouns, and conjugate correctly. I need you to speak up when someone dead names me. I'll be home for Christmas if you can support me.
Your song? It's awful. I hate it.
Now, I'd be willing to bet there are going to be a whole lot of Christmas dinners ruined this season because of people like the one we just heard from who expect everyone else at the dinner table to change so they can be their authentic self. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a pretty crazy Clown World update to start the week for you guys today, and as usual, we have no time to waste, so let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. So here we have a post of this fella's transition with a time lapse over 4 pictures. The caption says, 15 months on hormones. The top left pic was from when I first started hormones. The changes I've experienced have been amazing. I still have some rough days, but nothing like before I came out. I can't thank my fiance and I think it's supposed to say I can't thank, but hey, potato, potato, right? I can't thank my fiance enough for supporting me and letting me be my authentic self. Stevie, she, they.
What is up with your IG?
Let's keep this party rolling with another clip from everyone's favorite paid establishment shill, Harry. Harry. Now, these people seem to forget that Trump was already president once, and the biggest complaint most people had were his mean tweets, so roll it.
You know, I keep seeing people say that they're not going to vote for Joe Biden because of what's happening in the Middle East or some other issue they disagree with him on. And honestly, fine. Don't vote for Joe Biden. Go sit on the sidelines. Vote for Donald Trump if you want to. That's your right. But do me a favor. When Donald Trump wins and destroys America because all these people decided to sit out, don't complain. When more and more of women's reproductive freedoms are taken away because Donald Trump is insanely pro-life, don't complain. When more and more gun regulations are rolled back and everybody everywhere has an AR-15 in hand, don't complain. When climate change is not cared about anymore, don't complain. When people's food benefits are cut because Donald Trump wants to balance that budget and they're starving, don't complain. When immigrants are being rounded up in camps and getting deported in massive numbers, don't complain. When Donald Trump reinstates his Muslim ban, which he's been talking about, don't complain. When Israel and Palestine gets worse because Donald Trump doesn't care what happens, don't complain. When Trump stays in office for the rest of his life because he doesn't care about democracy, don't complain. This is what's at stake in 2024. We all know it. So if you decide to sit out and not vote for Joe Biden, knowing all of these things, even if you disagree with Joe Biden on a few things, then don't complain when America is destroyed because of Donald Trump and his insane policy. Because it will happen. It will happen. We saw it once, and if Trump wins, we're going to see it again. Don't make the same mistake twice.
Go home to mommy. Tell her to tuck you in bed. He's such a nice guy. Nasty little, I'll tell you, nasty people.
Now, when the young lad Henry says that Trump would roll back gun regulations, I know myself and a whole lot of Second Amendment supporting Americans out there are 100% on board with that. And one thing Henry won't tell you is that Trump banned bump stocks. So he got a bad mark as far as the Second Amendment goes during his first term. Anyway, next up. So I'm fairly certain most of you probably remember when female rap artist Cardi B endorsed Joe Biden for president in 2020. I mean, how could you forget after that bizarre interview they did?
And I want black people to stop getting and no justice for it. I'm tired of it. I just want more stricter laws that is fair to Black citizens. And, it's fair for cops too. If you kill somebody that doesn't have a weapon on them, you go to jail. You know what? If I kill somebody, I got to go to jail. You got to go to jail too. That's all I want.
What a f***ing disaster that interview was. I still can't believe the Biden camp put that show out there for the world to see. Yet here we are. Anyway, so recently Cardi B put out this 5-minute long clip of her basically ranting about how she's no longer riding with Biden. She will not be endorsing anyone for president this time around, so let's listen to a short segment of that clip. Roll it.
And this is why I said, this is what I'm telling y'all, I'm not this year. Don't fucking ask me. I don't give a the resume that they send. I don't give a I'm not endorsing no fucking presidents no more. Because how is there $100 million budget cut in New York City for schools, library, police safety, and sanitation? Yeah, Joe Biden's talking about, like, yeah, we could fund two wars. My talking about we don't got it, but we got it. Like, we're the greatest nation. No, we're not. We're going through some right now. Like, say it. We're really going through. We really are right now.
No, Sherlock.
And just like we heard from Michael Rappaport a few days ago, it looks like Cardi B is starting to realize just how f***ed up things have become under Democrat Party rule. Anyway, real quick, I just wanted to let you guys know that if you're enjoying the videos, you like the content, you want to help support the channel, grabbing one of these t-shirts is a great way to do it, and here it is. The Don't Be a Jackass Democrat Donkey t-shirt. Now, I wouldn't be one bit surprised if we see Michael Rappaport or Cardi B rocking this t-shirt in the near future, so if you want to get yours, there will be a link in the description box below. I also have some other very cool designs you can check out as well.
Nice, very nice.
All right, next up. So this lovely young lady says that sleep is rooted in racism and that Black people sleeping is an act of resistance. Yes, you heard me correctly. Sleep. Like when you lay down, put your head on the pillow and go to sleep. Roll it.
Let's talk about the sleep gap. Did you know that Black Americans do not sleep as well as white Americans do? The Center for Disease Control and Prevention conducted and published research in 2020 on sleep in the US. The results showed that 43.5% of Black or African Americans had trouble sleeping, compared with 30.7% of white respondents. Black and Latinx people in the US spend 15% of their night in deep sleep, which is the most restorative and regenerative phase of sleep, compared to 20% of white Americans. Poor sleep is a public health problem. Whether it's because of historical stress, maltreatment, or health inequities, Black Americans do not sleep enough. And poor sleep is a feedback loop, and the effects of poor sleep mean you're more likely to get bad sleep again. This sleep gap is worsened for people that are low income, disabled, or undocumented. Looking back to the enslavement of Black people in the US, fatigue has been used as a measure of control against Black people. This is why several campaigners and academics are pitching sleep as an act of resistance for the Black community. To rest, even to take naps, is an act of self-care, is an act of resistance. So this Black History Month, to any Black person watching this video, remember to rest.
Meanwhile,
this is why several campaigners and academics are pitching sleep as an act of resistance for the Black community.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
Okay? That is just stupid.
An act of resistance to what? I mean, I agree with that young lady. The sleep is one of the most important things you can do for your health. However, I wouldn't be able to sleep either if there were constantly bullets whizzing by my house or gang activity going on outside or hordes of people going into stores in my community and stealing everything, or my car kept getting stolen, or I couldn't go to my local gas station at night. These people need to go into their communities and say, tighten up. Stop committing all these crimes. Enough of the nonsense so we can all sleep a little better. Anyway, next up. So this fella says he is a woman. Roll it.
I am a woman. I am a real biological transgender woman. I was born this way. I will hold my space, and I will fight for the rights of transgender children. Love yourself. Be yourself. Be kind to yourself. Love.
What the hell did you just say?
I am a woman.
That ain't no woman. It's a man.
All right, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen. Now, what we're looking at here is Weezy's latest OOTN, or Outfit of the Night, while in Miami. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by our first sponsor is an American Project YouTube channel. Now, an American Project reports on news and current events around the world, and he's trying to build his channel up. So after this video, if you want to go watch some of his videos, maybe hit the subscribe button. I'm sure he would greatly appreciate the support. I will link that in the description box below. So an American Project YouTube channel. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's video. Second sponsor of today's video is Tony Lux, who wanted to dedicate this to all the Odin's Men refugees. Now, most of you know that Odin's Men YouTube channel was demonetized a while back, and he cut way back on the content he was putting out. So this is for all of you Odin's Men refugees that are over here watching Tony. Thank you so much. So Tony Lux and an American Project YouTube channel. Thank you guys for sponsoring today's video. If you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. Enough for Weezy for one day. Oof.
It's funny because he's fat.
All right, so this next clip may seem like a parody skit, but I assure you, it's not parody. This is real. So this guy thinks that the biggest snowflakes are conservative MAGA Trump supporters, not people like the young lad Henry who we saw in the beginning and his boyfriend Chris. Not them, not people who we see in these videos day in and day out. No. It's conservatives, Trump supporters, who are the biggest snowflakes. This guy also thinks that TikTok is real life. I'm not kidding. Roll it.
If I had to identify the biggest snowflakes that we encounter regularly, it would have to be the suburban conservative MAGA. And more specifically, the suburban conservative MAGA man. The biggest snowflakes there is. Everything triggers them. And it's starting to make more sense to me is because when they're in their safe space, in their little houses on the hillside, tiny boxes that all look the same, in their gated communities where they're arguing about who has got the best Pilates instructor, the husband is either a venture capitalist or a realtor. The wife was a sorority sister. Go, cap a cig. And it's never worked. They're all the same. Therefore, they can't criticize each other of their racism, their bigotry, their transphobia, their homophobia, etc. They can't criticize each other. They wouldn't criticize each other. Therefore, they're not used to criticism. So when they go out into the real world, right, TikTok, and they decide to engage in a live or have a conversation and their bullshit gets called out, they're not used to it. They can't handle it. So they react with insults or even when they encounter people who are smarter than they are, kinder than they are, more well-rounded, more sophisticated, more well-established, more successful in many cases, etc., etc., and they get called out, they can't handle it. They implode in their insecurities. Yeah.
No offense, but you are a stupid asshole.
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this clip of Fleckus doing some street interviews talking to people about the the Fauci sauce. Now, if you're unaware of who Fleckus is, he has a podcast called Fleckus Talks the Podcast, and it is the best new podcast of all time, featuring Richard Ratboy. Now, Fleckus and Richard Ratboy are kind of like the modern day Batman and Robin, except way less gay. So I definitely recommend you going and checking out Fleckus Talks the Podcast on the YouTubes. Anyway, guys, things are clearly getting crazy out there, so please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
So
you're vaccinated as well?
Yeah, for
What's
sure.
the thought process there?
I mean, like, we should believe that vaccine is, like, good right now because, well, the government is telling us to get vaccinated and we should believe that it's good for us. And
Are you f***ing dumb?
And you ain't black.